Welcome back to the channel, it's LukeTheDuke, and in the world of survival games, we've just got some new information that has dropped from Ark's publisher, and I've quietly had my suspicions about this one, but with this announcement and some clapback from community members, well, let's just say the picture has become a whole lot clearer. Remember to smash that sub button, ring the notifications bell to receive my future upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are greatly appreciated, and let's get this one on the road. Now, to kick this one off, I want to give a big congrats to Twitter user IamWildDo for posting this from Snail Games. Now, I check their corporate site every few days, and apparently I've been looking in the wrong tab. Anyways, Do, you are awesome, and thanks for this. Looking this over, and Ark's publisher Snail Games has been on a PR fest as of late, with constant tweets about recent projects and shoutouts to milestones, but with today's investor announcement titled Event Success featuring Ark Survival Evolved, we've got some new interesting details, starting off with Expedition Agartha. Now, if you followed my channel for any length of time, you know I've reported on Snail Games' overall portfolio of IP. I've shown you each one with current player counts, and I've also shown you this article warning potential investors to not, let me say that again, to not invest in Snail Games due to the fact that 90% of their revenue comes from one title, Ark. And so that little slice of additional income, that additional 10%, is spread out across all sorts of struggling IP. Some in early access, some that launched and were immediately abandoned. You know, it's a pretty dreary place to try to research. And so when they decided to come out today and boast about Expedition Agartha, a co-op first-person looter survival game, a game that I had honestly forgotten existed, well, let's just say that I was baffled. Snail's indie gaming subsidiary, Wandering Wizard, in collaboration with Matryoshka Games, has scheduled the release of the skill tree update and server wipe for Expedition Agartha on August the 1st. Until this date, the game's PTR server will remain active, encouraging players to provide additional feedback or suggestions. And just to provide some extra context for what I'm about to say, Expedition Agartha was sitting at 18 current players according to Steam charts when I grabbed this shot, and that was what, maybe about 2 hours ago? And looking back over all their previous months, Agartha topped out at a peak player count of 969 players back in March of this year, because up to that point, this game was in early access status and selling for $24.99. But in March, it went free to play, hence that giant player spike. But now it's back to averaging less than 20 players at any given point in time, and so it begs the question, who is this skill tree update and server wipe for? I mean, I guess those 19.5 average players might enjoy it, but how long will it be before Snail Games dumps this one like they've done so many times before it? Let me know what you think about all of this news about Expedition Agartha in the comment section, because now it's on to the main event, DEDsafio. And I want to first just read this statement to you verbatim. And here's the question I want you to answer. Based on what you hear, how involved in all of this was Snail? That's it. Just wipe your minds clean, open up your ears, and here's today's Snail Games investor announcement. The DEDsafio event, held on July the 12th, drew participation from 75 streamers, expanding the reach of Snail's well-received game, Ark Survival Evolved. During the DEDsafio event, Ark Survival Evolved achieved a prominent viewership status worldwide on YouTube Gaming Live, garnering around 61,000 viewers at its peak. Ark Survival Evolved also ranked in the top 10 games on Twitch in Latin America and received noteworthy visibility on Kick's live channels, a new streaming platform. Westcall, a streamer who participated in the DEDsafio event, attracted over 18,000 viewers while live streaming his gameplay of Ark Survival Evolved on Kick. These developments highlight Snail's commitment to providing engaging and quality content for the global gaming community and its promotion across diverse platforms. Snail continues to prioritize the enhancement of our gaming portfolio and active engagement with our player community, said Jim Tsai, CEO of Snail. The forthcoming Expedition Agartha updates and the well-attended DEDsafio event are indicative of our dedication to enhance the visibility and success of our games. We anticipate a continuation of strong player engagement and growth in our diverse game portfolio in the future. All right, that's it. Take it all in, process it, decide for yourself, just based on those exact words as to what level Snail Games was involved in the planning or coordination of this event. Now, to me, this reads, and in my gut, it actually feels like just a straight-up cred grab. All those stats, those gaudy numbers, 75 streamers, 61,000 viewers at its peak, top 10 games on Twitch in Latin America, and then they mentioned this one streamer in particular, Westcall, saw over 18,000 viewers alone, and believe me, I'm happy for how well the entire event went down. Huge congratulations to the entire DEDsafio crew. And if this statement had strictly been about DEDsafio's success, I mean, that would have been one thing, but what turns it all around and makes me question how this event was planned and overall coordinated are these little splashes like this, expanding the reach of Snail's well-received game, Ark Survival Evolved. Ark achieved a prominent viewership status worldwide on YouTube Gaming Live, and then these developments highlight Snail's commitment to providing engaging and quality content for the global gaming community and its promotion across diverse platforms, which I'm sorry is just total BS. And then Jim Tsai, CEO of Snail, actually comes in with this final statement. The forthcoming Expedition Agartha updates and the well-attended DEDsafio event are indicative of you know how that ends. Again, just stepping back and looking it all over, if the praise had been isolated to, say, just DEDsafio and the success of their event, fine by me, end of story. I mean, they put on one hell of an event, as they normally do, and again, congratulations. But these bits that Snail throws in there, those little additions, make me wonder, as I did back when I first saw their announcement a few weeks back, about just how involved they were with the planning of this Ark event. I mean, was there a sponsorship? Because to me, just reading this over, it feels like this was a sponsored event, or at least a collab effort. Well, what if I told you there was not? There was no collab effort, there was no sponsored event, and all of this event's success was down to the hard work of LtDed, the streamers involved, and the entire DEDsafio crew, while Snail Games was actually piggybacking on their success. And we find this out when Twitter user Valky Meow responded back to Bam over on Twitter when he questioned this overall affiliation. Now, Valky responds in Spanish, and it is translated, but her first response kind of says it all. I think you are confused. The project has been put out of his money and pocket by one person, the creator of the Ark Dead Challenge, in addition to several others. No one has contacted Snail Games at any time. She continues on, sorry, because the translation may be misunderstanding, but I have no idea why Snail Games put the challenge in their title. All this project has been carried out by LtDed, and not only from Ark, but more events from other games and more projects, so it is better not to mix it. What I want to say is that neither LtDed nor the Hispanic community needs Snail Games to promote anything. I understand what you mean about the company. I've been an Ark player for years, but it is wrong in this case and we are not to blame. And then she says that ad. I think she's saying we are not to blame for that ad. And then another Twitter user by the name of Arquitecto chimes in with, exactly. One thing is that they do not have any contact with Snail, and another thing is that they, and when he says they, I think he's talking about Snail Games, use the name of the series, the LtDed series, as self-promotion. It's easy to understand. Now, all of this doesn't really make sense, right? I mean, other than the argument that here's Snail Games, back with another level of questionable behavior, which they have shown to be pretty much par for the course. You've got Snail piggybacking on the success of a streaming event of which they had no contact with, no coordination, no collaboration, and they're doing their best to attach to the success. I mean, what's going on here? And this is where I fall back onto the cause that drives every one of Snail's decisions: money. Quarter 2 for 2023 just ended, and if I'm not mistaken, Snail Games should be getting prepared for another investors call, where they have to open up all the books and expose the numbers. And what if they really did not perform well for quarter 2? Investors invest based on confidence levels, and if they're not confident, they're not going to give you their money. Now, just before the DEDsafio event, Snail Games stock prices were stuck in the $1.50 range, and they immediately started a sharp rise the very day the DEDsafio event began, which was back on July the 12th, hitting a recent peak of $2.06 on July the 18th. Mere coincidence? I don't know. Maybe? Just my thoughts at this point, but I found it more than interesting that Snail Games stock prices jumped the exact same day those huge viewer counts started rolling in for the DEDsafio event. An event we now know Snail had zero involvement with, but have done their best to squeeze for every drop of positive PR they could take from LtDead and his crew. But as always, I want to know where you stand on all of this. Am I off in how I read that Snail Games statement? Sound off in the comment section below. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my latest upload alerts. Likes, comments, shares are always appreciated. All my social links can be found in the video description and pinned comments below. Shout out to the over 127,000 of you that have stuck with me and hit subscribe. And if you haven't yet done so, please do. It's absolutely free and it really helps out the channel. And as always, a special thanks goes out to my patrons. Until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer, signing off.